Okay, good afternoon. Hope everyone is well. Happy Friday. I think, is there a holiday next week? I'm not sure, actually. I'll have to look into that. I'm pretty sure there's a US holiday next week. I know, no, in fact, actually, no, tell a lie, it's not, is it? It's the 20-something. Should know this by now, shouldn't I? US holiday. Several holidays in November. Okay, maybe there is. I know. I put IS, not US. US is November. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's Veterans Day. No, that's the 11th. That's been come and gone. 27th. Sorry, my mistake. I'm sure there was something next week, but maybe there isn't. So yeah, I think it's where are we? We're up 27th, 4, 5, 6, we're 2 weeks yesterday, I think it is. So yeah. Okay. So let's see how we get on. Always nice to have a nice green Friday. So fingers crossed. So far, so good. Clearly a bearish. I mean, literally right from overnight. But if you looked on the daily, it did look like, if you looked at Mac's chart on the daily, it did look like it was about to drop out. So I won't be surprised if we have some kind of a correction followed by another big move down. How you doing, Daryl? Let me just grab Mac's chart quickly from yesterday, or Mac's video, rather.
And this turns down right off that main.
Turn the sound down. Yeah. Okay. So that was Max from yesterday. So in fact, didn't it go on a touch further? Yeah. So we'd had this leg down with the break. I mean, it's been really bullish, isn't it? Ever since it seemed to be bullish, I think, right away from all the issues with the tariffs. So we got a leg down with a break. I think there's a good chance we come down here, which is and break those lows, which is about 655, which is down here somewhere. So it's hard to say at the moment, but market is open. So that's kind of what I was looking at. So I got two options there. There's a channel there. I was looking for a cup leg. Didn't like that. There was liquidity up there, which didn't get hit at tell a lie. It's changed. Oh, no, okay. Right, I'll tell you what it is. This is what I keep doing for some reason. It's coming out of shot, so I've got to figure out how to keep this side. But yeah, there's more at 700, but it did pick up some 700 there, and then there was kind of a failure there, but it's getting a bit too close to the open, and sometimes the open can flip up and down a bit, so I just left it. But there may be a bigger channel, kind of a two-tier channel. We bounced a few times around there, and then we pull back, and you can see we're bouncing at the underside of this midline. So maybe there's something like that. So we'll see. Let's leave that there because we have still got orders at 700. So maybe we get something. It's hard to say at the moment, but we'll give it a go. So still waiting for my $2,000 payout from the one account. As I said, the other 9 accounts, well, all of them actually, I'm growing now. Spent too much time. I've been through all those phases before, growing and withdraw, growing and withdraw, and it's just like it's a vicious circle. So I'm not touching these accounts, 9 of them anyway, until I get to 7,500. I risk one contract, it's 2% risk. So risking 2% with a nice buffer of $7,500 in each account should give me a nice monthly wage of around about $10,000, and then I can start adding. And I can always maybe risk 2 contracts on new accounts to speed the process. The beauty is, with risking 1 contract, 10 accounts at $7,500, there's no reason why I can't comfortably earn $1,000, give me $10,000. If I got a nice, comfortable wage, I can grow the other ones without panicking or stressing. So I could always speed them up. So I can start adding maybe some Lucid, some Traderify, and take profit and so on. But that's the next process for me, to start growing accounts. Bear with me a second. I may have to pop out early today. One of our dogs, I think, is pretty ill. They think it's cancer. She's had it before. She's having x-rays this afternoon. So it's not sounding good. They did tell us to prepare for the worst, so I might have to shoot off a little bit earlier. Yeah, still haven't got anything from Apex. It's taking a bit of time, Apex, to process these payments. Well, to approve these payments. There's no reason why it should be denied anyway. So how you doing, Daryl? So you can clearly see a couple of legs up. So maybe there's something bigger. It doesn't look terrible. Visually, you can see the angle where it's bouncing. It's right along that midline, and then you can see this as well. Same again around the midline. We had a little bounce and a crossover on the midline, and we're pulled up. So that midline to me is playing a part. It's very bearish. You can clearly see these big buy orders down here. Now, if you're going to buy, we've clearly had this big move down. If you're going to buy, whether it's short term riding it up or whether it's long term, this isn't a terrible place to do it. We've not been down here for a few days. So it's a fair size move down, that is, I think, overall. We were due a pullback. So from up here, we're down 226 points. It's not a bad place to buy if you wanted to buy, depending on exactly what you wanted to do. So looking at Bookmap, there are orders at 65, which are here. There are orders lower as well. But it's hard to say at the moment. But I think, it's certainly looking like NQ is lagging anyone else. Not as yet, bud. Just check that's nothing to do with your time sync. I have a piece of software. I used to get lag issues. Now, when the market opens, obviously, there's a lot of volume coming in, and sometimes it can do that. But I have a piece of free software. Someone told me about a couple of years ago. I think it's called Time Sync. And ever since I get that, everything seems to work fine. Let me see if I can find it. There you go, Time Sync. It's a free piece of software, and I never have issues. So just have a Google of it. Just recognize that little icon. I think there was a couple at the time, just a TS in white letter in the blue background. Have a look. And that seems to solve my problems. But occasionally, if there's a lot of volume coming in, it will go a bit amber. But 99% of the time, I don't see anything bar white. I think previous to that, going back 3 or 4 years, I just used to right click on the time, adjust date and time, and just click. There's a sync button on here, sync now, and that used to do it, and then it stopped for some reason, but who knows. Anyway, we've had this big move up. Now we're bouncing right at this line, so let's see if we get some kind of reaction. Still got to be a bit careful because it may come up and test this area of liquidity, and as I mentioned earlier, you clearly see it looks a little bit brighter on my chart. I don't quite know why. So this is the up-to-date book map. You can see those orders at 700, which is right at this line, and there are sellers around this area, so I'd be inclined to just leave any setup here at the moment. As tempting as it might be, depending on whether you've got this channel down, it's very tempting to just jump in there, but with these orders up here, I'd be inclined to just sit on my handies and wait a bit. So let's have a look. Someone else has posted this, so I'm not the only one thinking along those lines. But jumping in here is I can understand the temptation, but we're clearly finding some resistance right the way along there. Yeah, so for some reason, on Bookmap at 700, it's showing 90 contracts around about, and on mine, it's showing 101. I don't know why there's a difference. But you can clearly see a load of buyers down here, 65 to 73, so right the way down here. So you would expect this to come down, but while we've got those orders at 700, 97 and 700, I can't take a trade. I'm going to have to wait for it to clear this, and ideally in an ideal world, there's bound to be liquidity up here. So in an ideal world, 1, 2, 3 triple test, and then we may get some kind of move. So Daryl, I've said hello to you. MD, how you doing? Loafy, how you doing? So can't believe how quick these. I got to say, every week now I'm enjoying my trading more and more, and it's starting to become like a kind of a boring old job, which is a good thing. That excitement, that belly tingling, nervous excitement is slowly gone, which is good because that only says one thing: emotions. And as we know, emotions ain't great, but everything's nice at the moment. Something's not right here. I'm on 93 here, and we're up to 700. Why is this? Something's lagging here for some reason. I don't know why. This something not working right here. Why is it lagging so much? Let me just drag this in. Oh no, now it's up to scratch. Seems to be lagging there for some reason. Let me just get this. Let's put that there. Drag that over and drop that. Trying to get it as big as I can for everyone to see. Why are you being a pain in the arse? Sorry about this. There is a lower high there. Tempting, but I'm going to leave it just at the moment because there are a bunch of orders. Looks to me like buyers are trying to push this thing up. Whether that's the case, who knows? It's close enough. Yeah. See, it's doing it again. What's going on here? Oh, must have paused it. Okay, there is a bit of a failure here, but I'm just not sure at the moment. You can see these orders, can't you? 700 and just below, so around this area. So the trouble is that 700 is right where the stop for that big lower high is. So that lower high for me, especially as it's triggered and working up, is going to get taken out for sure. You'd expect to, especially with those orders at 700. So maybe it's a channel with a break. Couple of pushes up to a new high, a retest. There you go. So if you took that lower high, you just got stitched. That's the beauty of book map. Seeing these orders up here kept me out of a trade like that. So why is this not pick those orders up? Something's really lagging here. It's at 98 here. We're well above this. Do you know what? Let's just ditch this. Let's bring my chart in. Let's bring this down here. Don't need that. Okay, this is my live book map anyway. Now, for some reason, that thing's playing up. All I want to get on here is the difference between the imbalance between the buyers and the sellers. Don't even really need this on. In fact, I'm going to put this. No, let's leave it there. This is my second chart. Sometimes I get a better setup on here, but I think that's all we need to see at the moment, isn't it? Seem to be running out of screens. Let's take that down there. We don't really need that. Don't need that so much. That. Yeah, there's a lot of orders all around here. You know what? Let's move my other chart up there, and we'll get the full page of that. Don't need that. So at least we can stretch this or whatever, can't we? There's orders all over the place here. Okay, there's an. Why is this looking so different all of a sudden? There's a very equal amount of orders there. Let's turn this down a bit. Yeah, there's a very even. You can see the larger ones down here. So my gut feeling is this. I don't know, to be honest with you. We got such a mixed bag there. I don't know how I adjust that to make it look any different. Little Hammer, how you doing, buddy? Lots of volume, maybe causing issues. Yeah, maybe. We got a real mixed bag here, haven't we, at the moment? So just having a quick glance at this section, this whole section down here, it is kind of rangy, isn't it? So we've got a spike up and possibly a channel up, but I think it's maybe a little bit early to start thinking about looking for longs with such a bearish move. Having said that, with such a big move down, you'd expect some form of a correction. What, we're down 100 points basically, so you would probably expect something like that before we go down, obviously assuming we will go down. But this is obviously a break of this channel. But the bigger these channels down, the more this break tends to, go the long way around. And you never quite know when it's time to get in. And if you look here, we've got a real mixed bag. We've got stronger orders down here. Trouble is, there should be a difference, more of a difference between, I'm going to have to try and figure this out. There should be more of a difference. Those two lines there look almost similar, but there's more than double the amount of orders there. I want this to stand out a little bit more. Not quite sure how to do it. Doesn't really make a difference, does it? They're all red. I need something a little bit more distinguishing. That's not the one, obviously. No, I don't know. I'm going to have a try and tweak this over the weekend because this is looking too alike. It's the only way you can obviously really tell. But if you look there, look at the orders. There's 220 contracts there, 89 contracts. But there's very little difference between these two. I want this to stand out a little bit more. There's obviously a way of doing it, which I'm not aware of at the moment. So I'm going to have a little fiddle around with it over the weekend. Try and sort out why. I understand how it works, but I've not played around too much. You can see. Oh, that's a bit better. That's better. I had it a bit too compact. That's better. Spread it out a bit. That seemed to make it. That's much better. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Let's 665 down here. Is that 665? Yeah, 665, which is down here. We've got more further down, which is telling me this is likely to come down. So I'm looking for the top line here, which at the moment I can see is just under 20. So if I draw some liquidity there, so 20 is about the top, isn't it? And it goes down to a little bit below there. So let's put it about 19 and take that up a fraction. So we can clearly see liquidity around this area. Now, if you wanted to sell this, if you were looking for somewhere to sell, you may kind of start with a 50% line, which is probably a little bit higher, and then look to get in there somewhere. Now, if we look at this, we've had a push up like a spiking channel. Often when we get those spiking channels, we do push out the top almost like an overshoot. Now, you may go, that's bullshit, and let's do something like that, which may be the case, but there's like a two-tiered channel there or something like that. So what however it is, but I do often see that sometimes. spike in a channel with a push out the top. So maybe it's something like that. But I would expect if this thing's going to hit a top to pull back, this would be around about where it happens. Frustrating thing is I'm used to looking at that imbalance, that buyers and sellers imbalance. So for next week, I'm going to upgrade this and get those, because that's the one thing this is lacking, I think. Now, whether that's just something I'm relying on a bit too much, but I do like the way when you see, if I'm looking for areas to short here, and all of a sudden I see that imbalance turning towards the sellers, that tells you, that gives you that little bit of extra confidence, doesn't it? Trouble is, if you look up here as well, there are buyers below this area. So buyers are trying to prop this up. You can see them there, 705, 710, 715. So these are areas that may kind of bounce. So, maybe this down stuff has done its thing. That's the 50%. Yeah, it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? And whether that'll make a difference. As I say, if this thing is going to come down, it's going to need to absorb these buyers. The first load of them are around about 710. Now, if they can get through that without any great difficulty, may go down. We'll see. So let's have a look at this. Let's put it from the eye of the day. So, right, yeah. So more or less, that's a few ticks off that 50% level. So you don't like it to go too much up there. So I'd expect some kind of a pullback now. But you wouldn't want it to go any higher than that, would you? Of course, unless it was planning on this was more of a reversal. So, as I say, that is just something temporary. It's hard to say exactly what it's going to do at the moment. I just went from that first push down to that next swing. And then when you attach it to that, this fits and this fits. So you can clearly see that. And then we slip into this bottom section, we push up and that. So it's hard to say. You may look at something like this. However it is, there's the initial one. And then maybe this second bit, which we have a break and a new low, and this is reversal. So I did put, in fact, I have got a channel down there. You can see it. So break, new low. So, this could absolutely be reversal. And judging by what I'm seeing, these buy orders around here, there are traders looking to buy this thing. We've still got those sell orders down there. Sorry, buy orders down low. In case you can leave a buy order down here. If price comes down to and you buy it, great. If price doesn't, there's no biggie. It can just sit there. So they may not be in a rush to get rid of them. They'll just leave them there. And if price comes down, then there we go. So that's fitting nice there. So there's kind of like a second entry long. There's a high low there, but it's a bit of an inside bar. In fact, it looks better here. Now, I wish I'd have taken that then. I don't think it's... I should have looked on the other chart. We've got a little channel down here, new low, and there's a bullish bar there. There's bound to be... I was focusing on something else there. I don't know how to keep this to the left. So that worked nice, actually. That one looked much better. This one, I don't like the fact that it didn't drop below, but you can clearly see a little bit of a bounce, two legs down, high-low, but the high-low was a bit... You're going to have shorts there. There's a failure there, so you're going to have short strap there and there, and obviously 2 bars and were there. So that was a shame, that one. It looked better on my other chart. A little kind of a micro with a break and a new low, bullish bar, and off it took. I'd have had a go at that one if I'd have been watching, but I wasn't focusing on it at the moment. So this does look like it may continue up a little bit more. There are sell orders there. There are buy orders still around the 710 to the 700. So there are a chunk of buyers around this area here. You can see them there. So maybe we get some kind of a correction and buyers continue on up. Who knows? So yeah, I've just seen Dan's chart. Where is it? Yeah, he's kind of looking at the same thing. He's got that as a bigger channel, and yeah, it looks right, doesn't it? So as that's pushing up there, this is clearly a break and a new high. So I think we're all kind of on the same page. Thomas Wade as well, yes. Thomas's chart, he's looking at exactly the same thing as well. Yeah, there's the break, clear break. Okay, so 2 little legs back with a break. 2 pushes up to a new high. So this is where I had this liquidity marked off. Let's see if, in fact, it's moving a bit higher there. I think that's more of interest for me. What happens when we get to here? That as it's a bit vague around about the 25-ish. Let's put it there anyway. So there are some at 25. And there are some here. So this may have 1 leg, 2 legs. Ben, how you doing? Your book map for some reason gives very different info to the one I'm looking at. Mine as yeah, I'm not quite sure why, mate. I mean, if you do this, this makes a bit of a difference as well. If you drag it in, it makes it a lot more dense than if you drag it out a bit. It kind of opens up a bit. So I don't know how much that plays a part, mate. I don't know how much that plays a part. See, price at the moment is about 21. Let's have a look. So it's about 21. It's moving. Let's catch it moving. So we're about 20 here, which is, yeah, it's about it's in the right place. 20, yeah. It's hard to say, mate. No, I don't really. Let's have a look, see if I can get the other book map chart up. The other book map chart. Yes. Is this the one I use? No, it's not live, that. This is it. Live, yeah. Let's have a look. Let's compare the two. Yeah, the only difference is if you look on here, it's quite yellow. It's quite red there. But I think the orders are the same. It's not quite, I don't quite know why. You can see orders at 20 there, but they're similar. You can see the orders there at 700, the orders there at 710. It's just they're a little bit darker on here compared to there. But they are similar. I don't know. They may just take adjusting. You can probably adjust a bunch of this. I don't know a huge amount about it, to be honest with you, but I am going to spend some time over the weekend. I know how to read it, but I don't know how to adjust it and those types of things. So I am going to play around all this stuff down here. I don't exactly know what it is, all this. I've got no idea, but it obviously does something. So it's obviously useful to know about it. Yeah, but you can see these larger orders here, 225 contracts sat around about there. So if you're buying here, you're assuming this market is going up. Yeah, I'll fiddle with it over the weekend, maybe contact. Does the live stream maybe I'll help? Yeah. Yeah, I'm still kind of relatively new with it. I've used it on and off, but I know how to read it, not so much how to adjust it all, and why one chart might differ a touch. So we've had a break of this channel. We've had 2 legs up to a new high. So there are orders at 25, and the stronger ones are at 30. But they're not super strong compared to the buyers down here. So I have a feeling price, well, it's going sideways, may have a quick drop and pick up some of these lower orders. We know there are orders around the 70, in this area and here. Excuse me a sec. I'm going to grab a drink. My mouth's a bit dry. Okay, so yeah, my guess is we're going to have a little bit of a pullback here. We've got stronger buy orders than sellers, and then when it comes back, see if these buyers can put this thing up. Disco, how you doing, mate? So maybe there's something like that. I expect this to come down a little bit. Quite likely to about 15. So channel break, 2 pushes to a new high. Now, a message from Bookmap actually. Bookmap trading community. Okay, here this comes. Once it starts to go sideways, it's losing a bit of momentum. It's going to come back and pick up some liquidity. We know there's some there. We can see it at 15, and there's some at 710 as well, which is here, and then a little bit more. I've covered that area, but mainly they're at the top and bottom of here. That's global plus 2. Yeah, I've just got global at the moment. Now, the only thing I miss off this is this imbalanced bit on the chart showing the red and the green, showing where it's tipping in the favour. Okay, so we've come down here. That's what I expected. So let's see if buyers can prop this now or we get something else. That's actually has an affiliate program that gives you the first 3 months for 125. And that's Global Plus. Yeah, I can get the first month for about 50 something, but then it goes up. I think it's $99. Mind you, it sounds a bit. Now, apparently, someone suggested we may be able to get it free through Rhythmic because we're connected. Rhythmic is connected to Apex. How true that is, I don't know. But ordinarily, it's $34 for live data. I thought that was a bit much, to be honest with you. When I first started trading, I put a little bit in my own account. I think I was paying $4 a month for it, which was going back 5 years, 4.5 years, 4.5 years maybe. So I thought it was a bit cheaper than that. But, you know, if it saves you one trade in a month, if it saves you one trade, you know, if I lose a trade, what am I down? $1,500, maybe a bit more. So it saves you a chunk of money. So whatever I got to pay, I still think it's worth it. read my previous comment. Yeah, after fiddle with over the weekend, maybe contact which one. But that for some reason gives very. Let's go +2. Read my. The affiliate. When you say 125, I think that's the comment you're on about. Is that with the data as well? Because you have to pay for data, don't you? Apex won't give you level 2 or level 3. I don't even know what level 3 is. Level 2, well, I know it's called level 2. Exactly what level 2 is, I don't know. It's obviously giving you a little bit more up to. I don't get it all, to be fair, mate. Trouble is, when you're a retail trader, there's a kind of a gap, isn't there, in your knowledge? Yeah, okay, mate. Yeah, nice one. What's going on here? Something's flickering around. So, did it get down there? Okay, so we knew there were buyers down here. So far, so good. But I think leg and a leg. So we got buyers at 700, which is down here. Buyers at 710. So let's get rid of that and just put it like that. Because they are quite a bit apart. So 700 there. That has gone, isn't it? Yeah. Right. These orders further up are starting to fade a bit now, aren't they? I will still leave those orders at 30, but so we've got a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high. Now, is this a correction and this is going to continue up? It's hard to say. All I can see at the moment is these 2 lots of buyers. Trouble is, there's hardly any difference between the colour there, but if you look, there's 240 contracts there and only half that. Maybe that's darker because there's two quite close together, 107, 112. So yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? So this, as we can see, is a leg down with a couple of attempts to go higher and a leg lower. So orders at 710. Now, if you're going to buying right the way along, bounce, bounce, bounce is not a bad idea. But my concern is after this big move down, we've had a channel with a break, 2 highs. Maybe it's going to retest and then work its way down. It's hard to say, isn't it? We still, I don't think, have gone above this 50% level, I don't think. Yeah, we have a touch, but we floated around it. So it's just any trick. No, nothing yet so far, bud. Nothing yet so far. It's a tough one here. Because this is around that 50% pullback of that big channel down. That doesn't look terrible for starting a move down. But it's a bit, now we've got this thing shoving up. Well, there we go. That's changed dynamics a bit, isn't it? So we didn't quite get down to pick those orders up, but obviously buyers came in. You can clearly see that. They shoved that up 10, 15 points in a matter of 5 or 6 seconds. So yeah, I got it, Ben. I'll have a look in a bit. Mind you, to be honest with you, the Global Plus lifetime is not a bad deal, is it? If you're going to use it, if you're paying, that's about 1.5 years worth of what's it, isn't it? I'll pick that up and have a look later. Thanks for that, bud. Yeah, I'm not even sure what level 3 data is. So at the moment, we're going a little bit sideways. We've still got buyers down here. So maybe this is having 1 leg, 2 leg, and then off we go. So what I would think about doing now is having a look at the 10,000 tick chart and seeing if there's a... Let's have a look at the daily again. Now this is interesting. So quick look at the daily. We've got this move up there. Now we've got, the gap was filled. We've got 2 legs back. We know there's support along there. You can see that. So maybe 2 legs back. So we opened here, didn't we, this morning? Sorry, the low of the day is here, so we got a leg back. Now, we could come back a bit further. If we came back a bit further, would that clear out any liquidity? Not as yet. So this thing could definitely come back a bit further. So I don't necessarily think the bearish stuff is over just yet. It's not super clear, but we've had this big move up, and then we had a strong push up, gapped up, came down, filled the gap, and had a pullback, and we didn't get far up, and we're back again. So I wouldn't be shocked if this thing didn't come down and break the lows of the day. But at the moment, it's just chopping a bit sideways. So assuming this is going to come down and take a lower high there, right in the middle of this is just a no-brainer for me. Nothing I can do there. So simple answer is just to let this sort itself out, figure out what it wants to do, go up or come down. But at the moment, down, up, down, we're above it, below it, above it, below it. So this is just a little bit of sideways stuff, I think, for the most. Yeah, it is looking like it, isn't it? Now, a lot of the time we know it does that, pushes up, goes sideways, and then pushes up. So 2 legs back. This to me is the first move down. If we had 2 legs back and had a strong bullish bar off that, then I would have a go at that. And funnily enough, right at that level at the bottom is where that chunk of buyers are. The trouble is, there's another chunk 10 points below there. So we've already had kind of 1 leg back. If we get a second leg back, that might be the way up. That's assuming it's going to go that way. So we may have something like that, a leg and a leg. See if that bull bar triggers and comes back. And that would take us right to these buyers down here. This is just guesswork at the moment, really, but I am new to Pat's system, but do you go for one-to-one rate? Not necessarily. I tend to go for what I would suggest. Now, talk to some other people, get some other opinions, but I personally would not go for a 1-point scalp. I wouldn't do it. Now, I've been watching Matt now for 4.5 years and trading Pats for 4.5 years. And some of the newer guys, I think, go for a point, but you're going to get mentally crippled going for a point. Now, this is my opinion, and don't get me wrong, I've got the ultimate respect for Mac. But if you look back at Mac's videos going back 13 years now, you would have a tick above your signal bar and a tick below, and you'd be risking 2 points. Look at that ATR at the moment. That ATR is just under 4. So I guarantee if you were short in this bar there, you are going to be risking, let me have a look, you are going to be risking 7 points. Now, if you were going for a point and you had bars like that, if you won 6 or 7 trades in a row and lost one, you'd be in the red. That is going to mentally cripple you. We don't have risks, or incredibly rare, of 2 points anymore. We just rarely do. Now, if your risk bar is bigger, all the bars are bigger, including your profit as well. So you can't buy tins of beans for 50 cents and sell them for $1, and then all of a sudden your price of your beans, your cost price goes up to 75 or 80 cents. You're going to do yourself out of business. So my opinion, 6 ticks is the minimum. My honest opinion is I would go for 2 points. I go for 3 personally. Now, if it's a good trade, they go for plenty of points anyway. A bad trade, on the odd occasion, if you take a shit trade, you may get lucky and get a point scalp, but it's going to mentally crucify you, that much I can tell you. So, new guy, I would say start with 2 points and see how you feel. But what I do is I have on my little chart that I mark stuff later, I always put down as well how much the trade could have made. So I'll put 10 points plus or 20 points plus, just so later on down the line I could say, well, hold on a minute, 9 out of 10 of my trades go for 6 points. Why am I taking 3? So my personal opinion is I would start with 2 points and then see how you get on. But you'll get crucified going for a point. You really will. It will be really hard mentally on you. So I hope I've helped anyway. I hope I haven't put you off. But trust me, be in for the long haul. It's not easy. It looks easy, but it's not. It's very mentally challenging and hard work. But if you can stick it out and keep plugging away, you will get better and you will start to make money. Most people give up not because they're not capable, it's because it's a lot harder than they think. So just keep that in mind. So there are buyers down here. As we can see, there are buyers a bit lower. Now that's clearly ranging to me. The trouble is, after this big move down, we've only got so far up before we started going sideways. And this area here is around this 50% pullback. So if it's going to reverse, if it's going to aim for the lows, this is about as high as it's going to get. If it gets above this, my opinion, then we're going to push up. 8 to 12 ticks. Exactly. I mean, I go for 12 ticks. I mentioned 8. So 4 ticks is going to mentally crucify you. I absolutely, trust me. It really is. And the trouble is, when I started with 4 ticks and I went to 6 ticks and 2 ticks, same again, you've got that mental difference. So if you start with 8 ticks, you're going to get used to that little bit of extra time it takes and sometimes a pullback. But if you get used to 4 ticks and go for 6, you've got that change and it's a bit uncomfortable. So I would get used to the slightly bigger points at the early stages. But I think, personally, I would say start with 2 points and see how you get on. My overall win rate is swapped and changed at the moment, to be honest with you, but I would suggest somewhere around about the 75%. That's take 4 trades, lose 1 of them. I think it's quite easy, that. I mean, up until Monday, I hadn't lost a trade for about 6 weeks. So, you know, I ain't taken a huge amount, but, you know, it depends. But win rate, really, don't get too hung up on win rates. You know, one guy could say, I've got a 70% win rate, and you might think that's impressive. Another guy say, I've got a 40% win rate, which you think that's not that good. But if he's risking 1 to make 5, that guy's winning 40% of his trade is doing much better. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, because that win rate is meaningless without knowing what your risk is compared to your risk to reward. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you're risking 1 point, realistically, you've got to win 70, 80% just to break even. Now, Mac teaches this with a runner, but trust me, he has said in the past, if you can only afford to take 1 to 2 contracts, you've got to go for more points than numbers don't work. He said that in the past, and none of us can find the video that he did it, but trust me, I listened to it myself. Now, I'm not going to take an order here, and you know why? Because I can see a chunk of orders right above that, so my guess is that's going to trigger and get stopped out. Now, without Bookmap, you wouldn't know that. Now, there's no guarantees. There's not a bunch of... So look at this. So that bearish bar there has triggered. Now, if there's enough sellers there, it'll push price down. But with those orders, and you can see them, there's 136 contracts sat right above, right where your stop is there. So if you took that short, boom, you're out of it. Now, you wouldn't know that. So let's have a look at this. Bang, 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 bang. We're in a range here. We've got a channel with a break and a new high. I guess I can get why there's going to be traders trading that. Now, it's not a fantastic bar there, but it looks a little better here. So your bar might be fuller. You can clearly see there's 2 little legs up. So I get why traders may short there, but without Bookmap, you wouldn't see that. That's the trouble. with Apex, how many tries do you get before blowing an account? How many tries? Okay. So, my suggestion to you is if you want to go with someone like Apex, get one account, never get more than one account. While you're learning, the only time you want to start increasing your accounts is when you can start to make money, because all you're going to do is buy a copy trader, think, yeah, I've got 10 accounts. You're going to blow one and copy that same to the other 9 and blow all of them. So only ever get, trust me now, only ever get one account and buy them when they're cheap. Don't even think about trying to get lucky and get them to a PA account, because you're going to pay the money for a PA account and you're going to blow it, I assure you. The only way you ever want to go onto a PA account is when you get there from trading properly. Because all you're going to do, and I'm telling this from experience because I've done it myself, get one cheap account just to get the experience of feeling what it's like to have a little bit of money at risk. But be really careful how much you spend, because you can get rid of thousands. Trust me. You get one account and you stick with it and you just use it, and you take, Max Wright, when he said, if you think it's a setup, take it. That's how you learn. You have to lose setup to start to get that overall picture of why am I losing? What does the picture look like when I'm losing? And that's how you start to change the way you look at things. But, I'm on Facebook. If you've not joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group, and you can private message me anytime if you just want to chat. I don't charge anything. I'm just like you, trying to get by and make some money. So I'm always happy to talk trading. So they have no deals at the moment. No, they don't. Personally, I would wait. It ain't going to be a week or so before they have another one, but you don't need one yet. You really don't. So my guess is they're going to have 80 or 90% off at some time. I'll get it up here for you. Okay, so that's my Facebook thing. That's me, the good-looking one, the handsome one. That's my back garden, by the way. It's not. I'm a cricket fan. That's South Africa, in Cape Town, South Africa. So yeah, that's me. So you can message me anytime. But what I would suggest as well is, let me just make that a bit bigger so I can see it. There's me groups. Give me a second. Yeah, find groups. It's all right. Are you a member of the Facebook group, Pat's Facebook group? Speedy, how you doing, buddy? I cannot find it. Okay. So here's the make sure you join this. You may already, but make sure you join this. This is a brilliant asset here. There are traders on it. I know Marco's been trading a fair amount of years now. Join that. And my suggestion is every day, take a screenshot of your chart, put it on here, and ask for some feedback, and that will help you. I did that for about 2 years, and you'll start to move in the right direction. So make sure you join that, and that will help you. All this is free, by the way. You don't need to pay anything to anyone apart from Mac, but that's charges peanuts anyway. So what's going on here now? So let's have a wee looky. There are orders up here, not a huge amount, around about the 38. Actually, they're a little bit higher than I thought. So is this thing going up? Coming down. There is kind of 2 moves down. So the way this is holding here, I don't know, in all fairness. My thought process is there's a stack of buyers here at 720, a stack of them. right there. You can see them there. See it? I mean, there's 850 contracts, more or less. Pretty sure that's contracts, not orders. Orders would make sense. So my guess is we're going to hit that 20 level here, cleared out liquidity along here, and then possibly push up. But there are a big chunk of buyers here as well. I can't see price coming down. This looks like a move up with 2 attempts to push down. I wouldn't be shocked if this thing pushes up now. Do you think it's a good idea playing the range highs and lows? Well, if you had it done, you may have taken a short there and got triggered and stopped out. Do you know, strange enough, I hate ranges. I'm not a fan of ranges. I've never really been that confident at trading ranges. So I would probably just stay out of this until we figure out where this thing's going. Whether we're, so many times we'll go up, across, and up. But at the moment, I'm not sure. See these big orders down at 700, which is down here. So there's still that possibility after this move down that this thing could come down there and test the low. So I would just sit tight here, but I would at the moment. It's hard to know what's going on. There is a second entry long there. It's very tempting to take that. And it is 3 bounces. It may work, but trouble is, see there's 142 contracts right here, and that might be right above that bar where there's sellers. So buyers down here and buyers down here. Oh, well, there you go. I would wait. But that looked very tempting. Fortunately, it never triggered. But with all these orders down here, my guess is this is probably going to come down a bit. I thought that might hold there. When we had that bar there, I thought that might be the way up. But trouble is, when we got orders above and orders below, it's generally, it means it's kind of, well, doing this, ranging. There's orders above it, orders below it, quite tight. What you want is not a lot down below and slowly orders moving up, and then you can kind of trade with them. But at the moment, it's when you get orders above and below, it just does this. So now this is interesting. This is. So now we clearly rattled. We had a breakout. We had a retest of it, and then it's come down. So is this now going to eventually come down and test these lows? I don't know. It's certainly a possibility. Now, we've still got a chunk of orders down at 665, which is there at the lows or below the lows. So it may push down, but at the moment, I'm just sitting tight. I used to watch Bar. He was like, yeah. The good thing about his Bar is he's got balls of steel. He doesn't worry about losing. Well, he might do, but he doesn't seem like he worries about losing. He just sees a trade and takes it. And that's good, I think. So I like Bart. He's a nice guy. I usually speak to him most weeks, or he'll come on the stream, but I haven't seen, he hasn't done anything, has he? It's funny I should mention that. I haven't seen sight and sound of him for a fair few weeks now. Yeah, strange. He's coming over to the UK. I think he's coming over to Plymouth. And he did ask me if I wanted to meet. He said, how far do you live from Plymouth? I went about 200 miles. So it might not happen, but... okay, so now look at that. I thought that was going to come down here, to be fair. But in all honesty, 700 is a fair old drop. From streaming YouTube, he seems to be having more success with Forex. Yeah, I've noticed he has a couple of very different videos popping out, doesn't he, that he does? Yeah, it's just, you never quite know. It's like Wilson. We haven't heard much from Wilson lately. He's just kind of faded into the background a bit. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. You don't know whether they're really struggling or whether there's, you don't know if people are having relationship problems or own house problems. You just don't know, really, do you? So when you don't hear from people. So I don't know why that keeps drifting out. I'll have to play around with this over the weekend. So there are more buyers here, around about the 32-ish. So I think this may move up about 32-ish, which is about there, give or take. So we've broken out this, we've pulled back, we've only got 2/3 of the way down, and now we've had a strong move up. Yeah. You can see there are sellers up here, can't you? OBS is disconnected. Okay, reconnected. Happy days. So those orders down there at 32 have been pulled. There are sellers there. Ish. And a couple up here as well. And buyers now at 30. There. So we've had 2 legs up. There is a lower high there. But with those orders up here, I wouldn't really want to short this. There is a lower high there, but with these orders above there, that's going to push up, I think. You can see the orders are just below 40, which is around about here, so that would stop that bar out. So we've had 2 legs up there, so I get why there may be people shorting that. But yeah, well, there you go. So that's another reason to avoid. That's the beauty of this. It does, give you the opportunity to see if you're getting into a short here when there's a lot more traders up here shorting. And you get a chance, you need to remove the Apex promo off the stream, bud. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, let me do it. Image slideshow. Which one is it? I can't remember. Trouble is, it doesn't tell you which one's which. Yeah, just ignore it for now. I'll do it after. What I tend to do is get rid of them all and add them back because it doesn't tell you which. Yeah, just ignore it for now anyway. What's going on here? Yeah, there's a fair few sellers up here. It's when you get used to it, it is confusing. It's not the easiest bit of software, to be honest with you. I've been using it now for about 3 years, so I'm okay. I know as much as I need. But yeah, it's not straightforward, isn't it? I just wish you could get better quality when you're streaming for some reason. You're capped, I think, a little bit. I do want to try and have a go at moving to 4K a bit. These 2 monitors, I've got 2 widescreen monitors here, which are 2K, I think. I'd like to move up to 4K to at least that way you got the opportunity to see me in all my glory. So I like nice clear stuff when I'm looking at it. Maybe it's my eyesight as I'm getting older. So there are buyers down here, as you can see. So that may suggest 2 legs down. So let's put that there. So maybe a channel with a break. If we get down to this 30 level-ish, that more likely take out the low there. So I'm just not sure what I'm seeing at the moment. I just don't like this. So at the moment, I'm not super sure about what I'm looking at here. So let's have a look. What others are looking at. Okay, so Thomas Wade has more or less got what I had. I just don't like this big V shape here, so it's just a bit. I'm a bit uncertain at the moment. Daniel, have we got a chart for Dan? Not at the moment. Yeah, so Dan's got that anyway. I knew he'd come round to my way of thinking. Oh no, tell a lie. The other one he got was yesterday. My mistake. So yeah, it does look like it's trying to push up, doesn't it? Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. So we've got a leg down with a couple of little pushes. Is this going to go up? In all honesty, I'm not sure. Because we've got buyers down here and we've got sellers up here. So that would tell me it may range a bit more. So I don't really want to get into a trade there. Just at the moment. No, it's not the YouTube stuff. It's the OBS. I don't quite understand that. I can't tell you, mate, how many videos I've watched of OBS, how to get what to put your settings on to get good quality. The only trouble is where's my so this is what I look at. Yeah, this is my YouTube stuff. There's all your comments in there. This is the latency. So I normally have in ultra low latency, which I think takes it down to about 1 to 2 seconds before I do something and you see it. If you go to normal, I think it's about 10 to 12. I've got it on low at the moment, and I was trying to, because you can't stream 4 or 2K on ultra low latency. So it's a case of, do I want to give you good crisp images, or do I want to give you those images now? You know what I mean? So I've been trying to play around with it, but I play around with it and look at it myself, and I can't figure out. But I do watch some streams, and it's super crystal clear. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not smart enough. Who knows? So would I take a trade there? No. Purely and simply because I got orders at around about here. But there are big orders at 45. But here, really, for me, it's just a bit risky. We may have a leg and a leg down. But while those orders are down there, price may come down. Pick them up. Absolutely. Which is why I've sort of, because when I got this new computer, now this is a mega up-to-date computer. It's about as quick as you can buy, I think. I thought about, because I got super quick internet, I thought about trying to get some, clearer content out. But as soon as I did that, I had that YouTube come up saying you can't use ultra low latency. It doesn't support it. So I'm just, as you say, do you want it crystal clear, or do you want it now? If we're talking about something that's happening now, I think you're better off to have a second or so behind rather than 10 or 15 seconds or whatever it used to be. My internet used to be naff. I think my upload was about 14 megabits per second. Now it's about 975 megabits, so it's super quick. So I could, I got plenty of speed to be able to put out 4K, but unfortunately through YouTube, they don't allow you to do the ultra low latency. So you've always got that little bit of, behind. So as long as you can see me and hear me. I mean, it would be extra nice for you to see my lovely face in 4K, of course. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. So this is slowly grinding up. I did leave that. I don't think it's the worst trade in the world, but it is a little bit sideways. And with those orders around about 30, that's a little bit lower. Around here, we've got this leg down, and it's slowly going up, but sideways. My concern was we get 2 legs down somewhere along those lines, and that would make sense. Pick up these buyers if this thing was going to push up, but it does seem to be doing it by itself. So all of a sudden now, it's not looking like it's retesting these lows. And as I mentioned earlier, we see this all the time. We go up, across, and up. Now, so I can see this thing on my map here. Yeah, is my glass here? It's empty, actually. In fact, there's a dribble in it. I did bring a single up with me. Maybe there's something like that. Yeah, we're preparing ourselves for bad news about the dog at the moment. So you know me, I don't need any excuse. It's rare. Well, I say it's rare. I go for a day. I usually have a couple of doubles most days, probably 5 days out of 7. I don't like to go too mad. Well, I'd like to go mad, but you got to think about your health as well, haven't you? I think the safe amount for a guy in the UK, I think, is about 14 units, which is about 7 doubles. So I like to live life right on the limit. So where is this thing going? Up, quite likely. Quite strongly as well. So we're going to move up, 2 legs down. Slow down, fella. This thing's going up and up and up. But yeah, see these strong orders. If this was a channel, we had 2 legs back. This is kind of the area you'd expect it to be. I can't see how much longer those orders are going to sit there. In fact, they're actually between probably 26 and 30, aren't they? So they're actually a little bit lower. I'll be surprised if they don't start to disappear soon. Having said that, if we get a pullback, certainly may come back to that area. So it's around about there. You can see there are buyers. There's 111 and 200. So there's a chunk of buyers around about the 30, well, at this area. So if we did get a pullback and you were looking to buy, and funnily enough, if you look here, you know, resistance becomes support. You can see it pushed up there. So this is probably an area where it may find its way down to, you know, if it does. But see how I put that there? That's about as high as I wanted that to go to make this channel fit nice. And now all of a sudden with that overshoot, there is a lower high. My guess is it's probably going to work its way down. There are still orders at 50, but they're not very strong and they're fading. The stronger orders are down here, so that, I'm guessing, mind you, all of a sudden you'll start to see very strong orders popping up here. But if you look at the numbers compared to the numbers here, they're not in the same ballpark. But can you see these big, deep red orders trying to push this thing up? Who knows? I'm out tomorrow all day. 9 pub crawl, nice. I went out for breakfast. In fact, we dropped the dog at the vets this morning. Went out for breakfast at the Witherspoons. But yeah, I'm tempted. Well, we're going to see what happens with the dog, but I might go out and have a beer later. We'll see. But I haven't had a pub crawl for ages. Early part of the summer, I think. I am due for a good day out, though. I'd much prefer to go out in the day, to be honest with you. Is you come out of a pub in the day and you feel half cut, don't you, in the light, drinking in the light. It's weird. Remind me where you are. You're northeast, aren't you? Where are you, Ben? Remind me. It's called Pub and Golf. I used to, near where I live, there was we used to go out and shoot, do like a clay pigeon shoot. There was a retired colonel that lives in Telford, about 12, 15 miles from where I am. We used to go up there and do about Northumberland. Yeah, I thought so. We used to go up and do about 50 cartridges and then go out on the beer. And your shoulders a bit sore. 50, your shoulders a bit sore. But we always thought it might be a nice idea to do it the other round, go out and get legless and then go and do some shooting. But we haven't done that for a few years now. Yeah, see, a lot of my friends now, I'm 56, a lot of my friends have kind of got grandkids now. But we still go out now and again. In fact, bumped into a mate of mine in the supermarket the other day. And he said, next time I go out, I'll give you a ring. So that's, in fact, I was tempted to phone him. In fact, I think I'm going to, and go out over the weekend. Sometimes you just feel like going out and having a few, don't you? Northumberland, so I suppose you're as wet as we are, probably wetter, aren't you? It's just done nothing but rain where I am. Still raining out there. We've got this, what is it? This tropical, the remnants of this tropical thing, haven't we? A full English booked at 10:30. Yeah, I have a bad experience with full Englishes. I had a full English once and went and climbed Snowdon. You know, when you got to go to the loo, and you have got to go to the loo. I did it on the top of Snowdon. Talk about embarrassing. Yeah. What is going on here? Yeah, I had a feeling it's just morning, actually. Right, okay, so I'm maybe not thinking about that. In fact, you could, I suppose, put that to there. I don't know now. It's looking a bit weird. Depends how far this goes. Single malt, my fillings. Yeah, Scottish breakfast. I do now and again. I had one a couple of weeks ago. I had a double Glenfiddich with my breakfast. I do like my whiskey. I do drink too much, really. I get through. I don't know. I don't want to say a bottle a week, but I ain't far off it. I bought a 10-year-old bottle of Lefroy about 4 days ago. There's maybe a third of a bottle left, maybe even a quarter. Trouble is, the more you drink, the easier it goes. Promise you're not alcoholic. I mean, I go through phases. Sometimes I won't touch it for a week, and then other times I'll have a bottle over the weekend. Trouble is with whiskey, it's not a huge amount of volume, and the more you drink it, it just goes so easy. My wife's got a taste for it as well. Worst thing I ever did. I avoid drinking during the weekend. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'd say every other day. I usually, when I come up early, when you work from home and you haven't got to go out to work, you've got no restrictions. I mean, I've sat here before drinking a single malt in my boxer shorts and a t-shirt. How many jobs can you do that? I'd say every other day. Mind you, last week I don't think I had any, but then I don't know, just fancy one. As I say, I brought it wasn't a double, there's a touch left, actually. There's no flies in it. You tend to get flies. But I like my peated whiskies, I do. My Lefroy's and my Ardbegs and stuff like that. It's Little Hammer. And you're nearly as good looking as me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, anybody else want to private message me and and chat trading, feel free. Excuse me just a sec. Okay, excuse me just a second. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Let me just put my I'm just going to take a 5-minute break and I'll be back. Let's just get rid of that. Okay. So where are we now? So I'm going to get rid of this, I think, unless we do this. Could be, actually. It's certainly a possibility. So testing these highs, I think, by the looks of things. So those orders down there, which were at 30, still there. It's a mixed bag up here. There are definitely buyers here around about 47, 48. And if you were going to push this up, I mean, this thing looks like it's continuing up to test this. We're getting a bit of a pullback here, so let's have a zoom in here. So where are most of these buyers? There. Around about the 47.5, which is here. There are buyers at 55 and 57, which are here. And 57, not a huge amount, but about there. So it's hard to say. I wouldn't want to take anything just here, especially with that chunk of buyers around here. There are some here. I think these are going to get absorbed. For me, the 47 area is the biggest, so that's been taken. And this will go as well, I think. So I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, so 47 is right in 47.5 is right in the middle of that lot. There, you can see them there. There is some there, but it's if it doesn't go up now, it'll come back. So let's see if we got anything like this. So that's absorbed those buyers down there. They weren't much, to be fair. There is some around 50, which is here. And then the chunk of them are around this area. And if you get, previous support becomes resistance, you expect it to sort of, you can see this area, actually. You can see how it's reacted here, 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 here. So it's definitely playing a part. So this would be an area, really, if there's going to be a bounce, you would expect this to push up. So that's where the majority of the buyers. So getting in here, trying to ride it up is premature, in my opinion. So, and we do look like we're in a little bit of a channel. So what I'm looking for is a break of the channel and then down to this area. In an ideal world, whether it happens is a different matter. So I'll be expecting something like that, which would get us kind of to where those buyers are, leg channel break, but we'll see. Nothing always works to plan, but that's what I'd like to see. I certainly wouldn't get anywhere here anyway. This to me is in a bit of a channel. You can clearly see it touch. But we do need a bit of a break. And there are some sellers here. You can see them. And that would then ride things down to this area here. So, okay, so we've had good news about our dog anyway, so that's good. I don't think it's super serious, which is good news, which begs why they told my wife that it was likely cancer and to prepare for the worst. That made her cry, my daughter cry, and then they were talking about we could cut her leg off. Now all of a sudden, It's not looking that bad. So it does make you wonder, do they really need to tell you that stuff instead of waiting for x-rays? God, I'll tell you what, it's so expensive to treat dogs. Spent £470 yesterday just for x-rays, another £120 today for tests, and they're still none the wiser. At least we get our puppy back. It's mad, isn't it? They see some sort of soft tissue. They've taken a little biopsy or a little aspiration. They've taken something out of it and they'll send it away to see what it is. But they were saying it could be, when she went to see him, they were saying, you know, chances are it may have spread to her lungs. Her lungs are clear. They shouldn't really tell you all this stuff. My daughter was in bits last night. Why say stuff like that? Mad, isn't it? Okay, so we're doing what I expected. We've had a break, and now I expect a push down. You can see a lot of the sell orders now are disappearing, and the main orders that are left is this wedge of them right here, right at support and resistance, which we've had there. And funny enough, if we look back, bounce, bounce, bounce. So this is obviously playing a part. You can see it here, here. You know, a lot of bouncing and turning in this area. So 2 minutes of Alpine live in 2 minutes. He was down around 1600. Yeah, I think he had a bad day yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Trouble is with Alpine, he has a bunch of days where he's making money, and all of a sudden he loses account. So it's kind of risk. You know, it's okay if you're winning trades, but if when you have a losing trade, you kind of leave your stop and run it till it either blows the accounts or, you know, so, but yeah, he tends to, he's kind of all or nothing, isn't he? So, channel down, little second entry short. There are orders at 65. I wouldn't take a short here anyway, not with such a bullish day. Trades NQ, I mean, yeah. NQ scares the shit out of me, to be honest with you. Trouble is, it moves that quick, the NQ. Sometimes it can, in fact, he took a trade the other day. He was on about a trade. It shot up, went 2 or 3 ticks through his profit and came down. And I don't know if you ever notice, whenever it hits your stop, regardless, you're out. But it can hit your profit in turn. What's that about? Somebody's making some money somewhere. How can it hit your profit and not give you money? But the second it touches your stop, boom, you're out. Somebody's making something somewhere. Okay, so channel with 2 little legs up and a break, and then down to this section down here. And that will be 2 legs down. So if we can get into this area of buyers, I don't think that's a bad option for, that's probably a little bit higher. Depends how low this gets, but we know there are buyers there. So, but I'll tell you now, if they're going to be traders looking to buy this now, which is too early, I won't be surprised if we get a little bullish bar that triggers. That's kind of how it works. So, a little bullish bar, see if it triggers. It hasn't done as yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it triggers and then comes down. Down we come. Doing live account, yeah. Trade a live account, that is obviously trading. You know, there are different ways you can do things with prop firms. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't trade your own account like that. You'd have one loss and that'd be it, your account would go. He's just playing the numbers. Trouble is, it must wear you out doing that. I know I've done it before, it wears me out. You're up, down, you make money, you withdraw it all, you blow it, you make money, withdraw it all. It's not sustainable, really. It fries your brain. Which is why now I'm just aiming on growing. I've just applied for another 2,000 off. I've got one account, which is about 4,500, well, 4,379. my plan is to just take 2,000 a month out of that and allow the others to grow and get the 7,500. Trade one contract, 2% risk. It's a nice small risk. Earning $1,000 and making $250 per week off each individual account is not difficult. You've only really got to get a couple of trades and you've more than done it. But you'd be able to pull $10,000 a month out. There. That's 120,000 a year. That's nearly £100,000. That's a good wage, that is. And if you can do that with 10 accounts, then you can add another 10 with Apex. And then you've got Traderify, you've got Lucid, you've got Take Profit Trader, you've got My Funny Futures. There's another 20. So once you can get to that stage that you can control yourself and grow those accounts and start to make money, that's when your earning potential starts to climb. 5-1 rule because of Alpine. Yeah. I think they changed a few rules because of Alpine, to be honest with you. You can't risk. How does it work? So if you're trying to make $100, you can't risk more than 500. Really, you wouldn't do that anyway, to be honest with you. Okay, so market's doing what I expected. The only trouble is this is where this measured move is, and I want it to come down a bit lower, which I think it will do. Yeah, you don't even need to worry about that as a patch trader. You know, if you're trying to make $200 and risking 1,000. So this is where we start to pick up some buyers, and hopefully, fingers crossed, market does that. Now, you can't confuse these two legs as a channel. That's the good thing about them being so broad. You can't really, it's too broad. So the good thing is it's an attempt to push down and a second attempt to push down. So I'll be looking to go long here. Now, you've got to be careful while a lot of those buyers, for me, you can't take a trade here because with so many buyers just below you, chances are it'll come down. But I want it to take out all these buyers, and that's the lowest part of them. Now, there are buyers down here at 27, which is down here. That's too low, in my opinion, for us to worry about it. Now, there is a bullish bar there, and that may well take off. But I'm not doing this because those orders are there. Now, it is two legs, and it may well work. If you get enough aggressive buyers buying now, price will push up. But with those orders down here, I just can't take nothing at the moment. It's a fair amount of orders, and that is going to act like a magnet. So I wouldn't be surprised if price still comes back. As long as they're still sat there and they don't get yanked. Max scalping 1 point on a 5-point bar. Yeah. So see these big chunk of sellers just here, 52 here? They're selling that to try and push that down below this area. So if you decided to jump in here, look what happened. Thinking two legs down. Now, granted, that bar pushed up enough for you to make your profit, depending on what you go for, but that goes to 3 points. So I think most of you'd have got paid there, but because those orders are down here, I'm waiting for this to come and pick those orders up. So I wouldn't have taken that. Now, I'd have probably fallen short by a tick anyway, but now it's coming in to pick these buys up. And that acts as such a big magnet. And look at that. Two lovely legs down. I get why traders are trying to ride this up to the top, but look what's happened. It came up, didn't quite get to the MA, and down, and stopped out. Now, hopefully, if anybody did take that, they probably grabbed their profit there, but I left it for that obvious reason. We know these buyers, you can clearly see them there, is acting like a magnet. And there's bound to be a little bit of liquidity around here, so I'd even quite like a little drop out the bottom and then. So let's have a quick little zoom out. You can see this area, can't you? You can clearly see it's playing a part. But for me, it needs to get to the lower part of this and preferably out the bottom. And if we can get below that bar there, that will be even better. That bar is there. Funnily enough, if it does, it may bounce off the bottom of the channel. That is the lowest part of liquidity that I can see. So I think there's probably going to be a few more buyers off here. But with those orders here, I wouldn't take it. Now, it's not to say it won't work. It's a fair chunk of buyers down here, which it hasn't picked it all up yet. So I'm thinking this may come down some more, but you never know. If it pushes up that much, these will disappear. And trouble is, at the moment on this chart, until I upgrade it, I can't see the imbalance between aggressive buyers and sellers. If all of a sudden I can see these orders here, but I can see there's a lot of aggressive buyers, could pull this up a bit, but it just doesn't look like a lot of aggressive buyers at the moment, does it? In fact, I can see more selling here, but that's, so. In fact, that's probably a better option to keep that slightly larger. So as I haven't got that. Yeah, we are getting some aggressive buying, so maybe it will push up. We did have 2 tests of this area. It didn't quite pick up these orders. But as I say, as it starts to push up, aggressive buyers come in, it starts to move. These orders will become a little bit more relevant anyway, and probably get pulled. Bitcoin's had a fair old drop. I noticed last night, $94,000 it is at the moment. Now, is this the end of the... is this the end of the bull cycle, or is this just some kind of a correction? Trouble is, when bookmap comes down, everything else follows it, big style. What is it at the moment? Oh, it's had a bit of a pullback. It's 96,000. My watch popped up and said 94. After nearly 1 billion ETF flow, are we sliding into a bear market? Who knows? It's not been a very good season, really, is it? I think Ethereum's had an awful time. I think it only just beat the last bull run. I think the last bull run, Bitcoin got to about $4,800. Beat it by about $150, which is absolutely nothing. I don't know. Yeah, it's not really been a good. Well, I mean, not that it's necessarily over. Solana's floating around $140. God, I'm gutted. I bought a load of that. I bought, I think, at $10, $12 and sold them at 18. Okay, so that did work. We had 2 tests there. So if you took that one, came back, took you out for a tick, and then pushed up more than likely to the tops. Didn't quite pick all these orders up, which is why I kind of left that. I could have done nothing with that anyway. Green bar, clearly inside bar. I said no anyway. So I couldn't do nothing with that. So we pull back from here. Are we going to pull back? Is this a little bit of a range? It may well be. Mm. Could still do that. That could be more considered as one leg, and then a second leg. I don't know. Who knows? It's not a great day today, to be honest with you. There's just not a lot in the way of setups. Not a lot here. 2 legs down. Nothing you could do there. Not really much you can do there. There's nothing here really. That it's a bit congested. I looked at it, and then we're off. There's just not a lot. You can't say that's an inside bars. Not a lot. I haven't seen a lot of trades on the 2 discords that I kind of following. Not a lot. A couple took well. Trade, yeah. Dan hasn't taken anything yet. Someone took that. Yeah, I get why they may have done. I did expect it to come down for a second leg. I wouldn't have done purely and simply because we're moving up at the moment. But yeah, Dan hasn't taken anything. Well, certainly 416. Yeah, so a minute ago. So I'm not surprised. There's not a lot really. You've got to be patient today, but that's fine. I don't have any issues with that really. Not anymore. So I've been going for an hour and 50 on the stream an hour before, so nearly 3 hours. So I'm probably going to do maybe another 15 minutes. But no trade yesterday and likely no trade today. I ain't got a problem with that. I'm quite happy with that. If I can get a couple of trades in a week, that'll do me. So I got, 2 days without a trade. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I give myself a pat on the back for being patient enough to do that. But I really haven't seen anything. Certainly today. Yesterday wasn't a great. Mac mentioned yesterday wasn't a great day. Previous day, much better. No, I haven't yet, but I noticed I had an email earlier. I'm having trouble at the moment signing into my Guardian Angel trader. I haven't had a message from for ages. I don't know whether we'll get updates with that or not. Where is it? Yeah, 12:30 UK time I had it. Yeah, there it is. So I'll do that later. We're excited to announce the release of Replicanto 1.6.1. This update brings new customization options, better layout, better control. Yeah. He's a nice guy, that guy is. I spoke to him a few times. Bugs fix. Bug fix. Fixes follow no correcting. Follow the leader and the leader's order. I was watching a video a few weeks back about. I keep getting an email from this guy. Affordable indicators. He has a system which has got some features I quite like. Strong buyers there. It's got some features I like. When it closes a trade, it scans it again over a couple of seconds and closes any that may be left over. You know, on the rare occasion trades are left over. So I kind of like the fact that it does that. You got a backup and then a backup, which just has a quick scan. I mean, you know, these bits of software are still relatively new, really. But they're going to get better and better. Trading's going to get easier and easier, and it's just going to get much better for us, much safer, and you know. So I kind of like that about trade at the moment. Revert back to the previous version, really. Does not seem to work. Interesting. Tempted to leave it now. Sometimes these new things, though, they come with a couple of bugs and they fix them. You know, very few things come out, do they, without something slightly needs tweaking. So, there's nothing much you can do here, really. Can't go long here, can't go short here. But I am going to watch some videos. If you look on the Bookmap website, I think there's a learning center there, and there's loads of good videos in there, hours and hours long, which talk about icebergs. I don't fully understand them, to be honest with you, but I believe icebergs are where institutions to cover. Problem is, if you see a big institution getting in here, buying in here, you know, big institutions, big pockets, they're going to be able to sway the market. But I don't think they want to give away their position. So they drop them in sections. I think they call them icebergs. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, but I'm going to do a little bit of watching and learning over the weekend and see if I can't understand them a bit. Trouble is, it's a fantastic bit of software, Bookmap is, but there's loads of bits and pieces with it, and you got to do your due diligence and get to know it a bit. Otherwise, you're going to do yourself an injustice, aren't you? So I'm going to do that over the weekend. So I might park myself in front of that big screen TV with a nice scotch. Let's do some learning. So we got orders above and below here. So this is a crunch area for me. Is it going to continue up? I certainly wouldn't want to be going long this far in the move. So reference overnight highs. We are not far away. That'll be about there. So what are we? A few points, if that. And there we go. Straight up, more or less. Okay. Overnight highs broken. So that did it. Relatively quick time. I thought when we had this, started going back, I thought we were in for a second leg down, but no, market had other ideas, up and across and up, 2 legs back. Unfortunately and frustratingly, I get why traders may have taken that bar, 2 clear legs back. But I left it purely and simply because there were orders. It did pick up some orders, but the bulk of the orders were down here, and it went up, and you may have thought, yeah, happy days, up we go, we'll get our profits up here. It came down, ticked you out for 1 tick, which is absolutely infuriating, and then took off. It's almost illegal, that is, isn't it? It's infuriating when it happens. I went for a long stage of giving it an extra tick when my stop is. Sometimes it saved you, but I think most it didn't make a difference, and you ended up losing an extra tick. So I just deemed it not worth it in the end. Okay, I think I'm going to do one there, actually, folks. My dog will be back in a minute, back from the vet, so I'm going to go and see how she is. So I will leave you guys to it. So if you're planning on trading for the rest of the day, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and I'll be back here on Monday, and we will do it all again. So I'll leave you to it. Have a great weekend, and I will see you, interestingly, teach you how to... Yeah. In fact, one of his videos, if you look back, one of his videos, he actually moved his stop to the previous swing low. So, you know, you never know, dear. So, yeah, if you are bored one day, look at Mac's older videos. He did post a lot more, and they're interesting anyway. So, I'll leave you guys to it. Stay safe, and we'll catch up on Monday. Bye for now.